So this lower body mobility sequence, we're gonna spend about 10 minutes working a little bit on our toes, on our feet, Achilles, as well as our hips to improve range of motion in all of our lower articulations. So with that, we're gonna start by standing. First exercise we're going to perform is just control articular rotations for our ankles. So I'm going to place my ankle down and we're going to go really nice and slow. What we're going to do is 3 rotations one way, 3 rotations the other way. I'm going to take my big toe and I'm going to try and draw as big of a circle really consciously as I do. So I'm going to go into eversion here, coming out, around, and that's 1. Up, out, around, 2, good, up, draw a big circle on this last one, out, around, and down, 3, good, we'll pause, we'll go the other way, up, out, around, down, 1, you hear those little cracks, those are the areas we want to try and go a little bit slower in, and really try and get our muscles to engage and absorb the load. Let's do 1 more big circle, up, out, around, and down, good, we'll switch to the other side, same idea, point that toe down, up, out, around, down. Hence, controlled articular rotations. The more control we have through each and every little segment, the better. Up, out. So what you don't want is to be all choppy as you go, just nice fluid motions as best as possible. Let's switch, go the other way, up, out, around, 1, good, up, out, really trying to recruit, around, down, 2, and last one, here we go, up, out, around, down, and 3, beautiful. Okay, next one we're gonna go ankle eversions, and so with this, we're just gonna stretch out that ankle to the side, let it rotate outward a little bit, and then come back in. What I want you to do as you perform this exercise is be strong through that ankle. So don't just push it out to the side and stretch out a bunch of ligaments. Really try and control that movement. As you do so, hold it there, stay strong. What I do is I just apply a little bit of pressure into the floor here, get a little bit deeper, but also a little bit stronger in that stretch. We're gonna go for 5. Little rotation out, good, and back in, and nice and strong. Little rotation out, a little bit of pressure, good, and back in. If you've ever rolled your ankle, typically this is the most common scenario, the most common pattern where you would roll your ankle. We're going to switch to the other side here. So what we're doing here is we're actually trying to teach your body, and particularly your ankle, to be able to adapt to this range of motion. So if you roll that ankle, well, your body and your muscles are going to say, oh, I know this position, I've been here before, and just engage and be nice and strong, and ultimately become more resilient to rolling that ankle. We're going to push it out nice and strong, good, and back in. Let's go for 2 more, and push it out, good, I'm going to hold nice and strong, good, and last one, and out, little hold, nice and strong, beautiful. Okay, with our toes here, what we're going to do is we're just going to segment a little bit between the toes. So first what I'm going to do is I want you to point your big toe down into the floor, try and create as much of an arch here as possible while lifting these little toes up. And we're going to hold that nice and strong, really build that arch for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now a very important movement, we're going to try and get our toes into dorsiflexion, so push those little toes down, get those big toes up, hold strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Plant back down, and good. Let's create that arch in our lower foot. Good, and holding, pushing down, nice and strong. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And now bring those toes up. Good. Nice and strong, nice and elevated. Good. Drive them high. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's go back down. Hold strong again, creating that arch. Good. For 5, 4. Build it up tight. 3, 2, 1. And switch back. Good. And hold nice and strong. Good. Lift those toes up high, 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 high. 5, 4, 3, 2, and good. Great work. Okay, stretching our big toes a little bit deeper. So I'm going to show you a stretch, but if you can't do the stretch I'm about to show you, what you do is just place your big toe up against the wall and just kind of go into flexion like that. And what we're going to do here, what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go down onto the floor and just sort of deepen that stretch right through the bottom of our arches there, but also through that big toe. And we're just going to hold it here. So again, if you can't do this motion, just put your foot up against the wall, and then just place one foot, and I'll tell you when to switch. And we're gonna take a couple deep breaths. Deep breath in. Deep breath in again. Okay, if you have one foot up against the wall, switch feet. Same thing, we'll take 2 more deep breaths. Good, feeling that stretch, nice and strong, good, one more time. What you're going to do is, if you're on the wall, you're just going to come and sit back right down on your knees, and what I want you to do is just pull your toes into your heels as best you possibly can. So I'm taking my toes and I'm going to hold them and I'm going to scrunch them in nice and strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and release. And we're going to do 3 of those. And pull those toes up, squeeze them in nice and strong. Good. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And break. And again, nice and strong. Hold tight for 5, 4, 3, 2, and good. Rest. You're probably thinking, why am I doing all these crazy stretches for my feet? Your feet are your main point of contact into the floor. So whether it be walking, whether it be running, or any other type of sporting or athletic maneuver, your feet, again, that first point of contact, if they're not functioning and doing their job properly, then everything else is going to be affected. So by stretching out our toes, by making sure we have good eversion through our ankles, by making sure we have good dorsiflexion, that'll allow us to perform those movements as adequately as possible so that our knees, our hips, and our lower back don't take any unwanted loading. With that, from there, so we did some toe stuff, we did some bottom of the feet stuff, just below through our arches, through our plantar fascia. Awesome, and we did some ankle stretching, so we're gonna move on to our hips, and with our hips, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with butterfly stretch. And place your feet together, just like so. And then from here, you're gonna breathe in, so deep breath in right into, I'm feeling this stretch here, I'm just gonna let my knees fall, and with each breath, I'm gonna breathe in, down into the stomach, and then as I breathe out, I just wanna try and let my knees fall a little bit more. We'll take 3 deep breaths here. Chest up nice and tall. And a little breath out. Good. Breath in. And a little breath out. Breath in. Good. Deep with this one. Hold it. And breathe out. Beautiful. Now what we're going to do here is a little contract and relax segment where I'm going to take my elbows, I'm going to grab hands right above the ankles and then elbows right in between the knees, and from here I'm going to press out lightly with my elbows while pressing my knees into my elbows. Just try and get those adductors to build up a little bit, build a little bit of strength through this range of motion. So here we go, we're going to build up and I want you to ramp up. So don't just go from 0 to 100, go from 0 to 20 to 40 to 60 to 80 to 100. And then once we're done sort of pressing in here and we've reached that peak of 100 for about 3 seconds, we're going to release, let our knees fall down and try and drive our knees to the floor. We're going to go through 3 reps of this. So start to build up for 20, 40, you should feel it right on the inside of your thighs right now, 60, 80, and 100. Go nice and strong. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now drive your knees to the floor and hold that strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And let's go back in. Just a little rest. And we may have some improved range of motion here. And let's try and strengthen in this new range of motion. So I'm going to start to build. 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. Go strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let it fall now down. Drive strong. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And last one. Here we go. Up and strong and build it at 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. Nice and strong. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Good. And drive down as best you can. 5, 4, 3, 2. Get those knees to the floor. And 1. Beautiful rest. And what we're going to finish off with, what I call a squat and pry. So with our adductors that we just stretched out, we're going to try and get into a nice deep squatting position. So from here, I'm going to squat down, and same idea. What I want you to do, knees into elbows. You want to try and keep as upright as possible, knees into elbows. I'm just going to push those knees into my elbows. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then drive the knees nice and wide. Hold strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push back in. Hold strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and good. Push up, hold strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Back in. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Push up. Hold nice and strong, nice and deep in that squat. 5, 4, 3, 2, and voila, rest. So that concludes it. A little mobility sequence for, again, some very, very important joints, not only to help ensure that we perform properly, but also to help ensure that we maintain as much injury resiliency as possible. So we've got big toes, we've got a little bit of the ankles, a little bit of the hips. We'll again make sure that we have some good self-care for our lower body, and also to help to prevent things from happening with our upper body, depending on the imbalances that we have and we create. So I hope you enjoyed it. Take a couple of deep breaths and just walk it around, move your hips out a little bit and see how you feel.